Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and it seems like every day we get at least some significant news, and the reason why this news is significant is because we're talking about the Boston Celtics, and every time a contending team or a team that's trying to be a contender, a team that's in win-now mode, every time a team like that makes a move, it's pretty big news, especially when it's one of their key starters, and, we know they're gearing up for this championship run that they're supposedly going to be on for the next few years and beyond, because like I talked about in that other video, the Gordon Hayward video, this Celtics team is not only geared up to be a top team in the NBA this year, next year, the year after, but for several years into the future, just because of the foundation they've created for themselves with these high draft picks, with these young players with a ton of potential that, when Isaiah Thomas is in his mid-30s, when Gordon Hayward is leaving his prime, and Gordon's not that much younger, but when Gordon Hayward is maybe 33 or something like that, you got a bunch of guys ready to take the reins of this team and keep them going as a very good team. And not only do they have a number 3 pick this year, last year, but they have one next year. At least, we don't know if it's, we don't know when it's going to be, when the pick's going to be, because it's Brooklyn's pick. But it's likely a lottery pick. It's a lottery pick, let's be honest. This pick is probably going to be top 5 again. Maybe 6 or 7, but it's going to be a high pick. And they're going to get yet another player that they can try to build around. They can try to develop into something. Who knows? But we're here for the trade. Obviously, Avery Bradley, Celtics shooting guard, a guy that I've been praising for years, or at least this year. I've been praising this guy and saying this is likely the most underrated player in the NBA. I think he gets so much less credit than he deserves. He's been shipped off to Detroit in exchange for Marcus Morris. We're also hearing reports about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and how he's not going to be returning to that team. Very, very interesting stuff. We know Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder were 2 players that were being frequently involved in talks due to the sign and trade situation with the Utah Jazz, or with Gordon Hayward, I should say. We're pretty sure that one of these players is gone, and I think most people thought that Jay Crowder would likely be the player that would be out of here, and there's many reasons for that. For one, Avery Bradley's better than Jay Crowder. For 2, the Celtics front court situation, or at least wing situation, I'll say, like small forward, just forwards in general, is in a, they have too many small forwards. So if they ship off Jay Crowder and get Marcus Morris, a guy that can play the 3 or the 4, which is in principle what they got with Marcus Morris, then it's the trade seems to have gone off without a hitch in that situation. It's a little bit more confusing as to why they traded away Avery Bradley. Maybe it's because I believe Avery Bradley is 28, 29. But for whatever reason, he just doesn't have as much value as I think that he should. And I think that he adds so much to that Celtics team, or he did. And it's just baffling to me why they would get rid of him like this. I'm just so confused as to why you would want Marcus Morris on your team instead of Avery Bradley if you're the Boston Celtics. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. Yeah, I know there were reports about Bradley and Smart and Crowder for a while in sign and trade talks, but man, I just don't think the Celtics really made the move they wanted to here. Marcus Morris is a pretty good player. He's a consistent scorer. He's a guy that he can play the 3 or the 4, like I said, and he'll likely be the power forward for this team, but that 4-5 duo of Morris and Al Horford has to be the weakest rebounding big men tandem ever. Maybe not ever, but seriously, it's bad. And we know how bad the Celtics were on the rebounds last year, and it's not going to get better. That was one of their major downfalls, and I really don't understand the point of this trade at all for the Boston Celtics, because this isn't really how I envision this team building a contender. I didn't think that this is really the next step for them. It's also baffling to me that they decided to trade for another wing player, or at least, he's a small forward, power forward hybrid, right? How many small forwards are on your roster now? You literally have 5 rotation small forwards that you want to get minutes. That being Jay Crowder, Marcus Morris, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and of course Gordon Hayward. So really, it's man, how are you going to play all those guys? You want all those guys playing, but now how are you going to play them? It's a little bit redundant. Yeah, I know Brad Stevens praises positionless basketball. I've been hearing that recently, and that probably is a main, his reason for going out and getting Marcus Morris is like, well, we don't really play with positions. So you could throw in 5 forwards at one time. And I was saying, like, yeah, I can't wait to see the day when he decides to throw out the all small forward lineup, when he puts Gordon Hayward at point guard, Marcus Morris at center, and throws Brown and Tatum on the wings and Jay Crowder. Like, that would be so funny. Okay, maybe Crowder and Brown on the wing. Anyway, I just think it's hilarious that they just keep going out and getting the same player of value, not just like throwaway bench scrubs. And I believe they do have that guy James Young, who's also a small forward. He doesn't even play unless they got rid of him. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, this team does not need a small forward whatsoever, and they got one, basically. I mean, yeah, small forward, power forward, hybrid. I know I'm going to be hearing that a lot. But look, I really don't think this is the move at all. I'm just like, unless they're going to follow this up with something, which they very well might, this isn't going to work. At least, for winning a championship this year. I know the Celtics are in win now mode, but this team isn't beating the Cavs. No, this team isn't. At this point, I think this team's barely better than last year. First of all, I don't know if we can get another season like we did from Isaiah Thomas. I don't think, because he's going to be 30 this season or something. Maybe he's 29. I'm not sure, but Isaiah Thomas had one of the greatest seasons for someone of, a 5'9" player that we've ever seen, if not the greatest. Probably the greatest. No, it was the greatest. But can that really be replicated? Like, I'm not really buying this right now. Marcus Morris as a player is pretty good, I guess, but I don't know how he really helps this team. I guess, you want some more scoring, you get Marcus Morris, but like, you just picked up Gordon Hayward. What's the point in all this? Now, what's Jay Crowder's role in this team? Because now it's like, either you move one of them to shooting guard, like you move Hayward to shooting guard and you play 3 small forwards, or you start Marcus Smart, but then you want to get rid of Marcus Smart. I don't know if they really have another guy they can slot in there next to Isaiah Thomas. And I thought Avery Bradley was like the perfect player to have next to Isaiah Thomas. And I just, like, if you got rid of Jay Crowder for Marcus Morris, it would have made so much more sense. I don't know how much I like this move for Marcus Morris. Right now, I don't really like it. But hey, we'll see how it goes down. This team was a 1 seed last year. I'm not predicting them to be a 1 seed next year. And I don't know, like, maybe they have some playoff success. Marcus Morris is pretty good, like I said, but I don't know about this, man. I'm not completely on board with this trade for Boston. And as for Detroit, which I'm not really talking about because Detroit's not really that relevant right now. They should be good. Like, they were good that 1 year, and then they just fell off. Like, they should have gotten better, and they didn't. Like, Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson, their 2 best players, just were awful last year. At least Reggie Jackson was. Marcus Morris was one of their most consistent players last year, and now he's gone. They're getting rid of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So what's really the direction for this Pistons team? That's also an interesting question to talk about. They will likely be trying to tank for a pick. And look, I don't understand why you're keeping the other guys. So if you're going to get rid of KCP and Marcus Morris, you acquired Avery Bradley, but how much use is Avery Bradley to the Detroit Pistons? I don't think he really is anything of value to them. What would they want with Avery Bradley? This team, they just dumped a few of their really solid players. If you're going to dump those guys, why aren't you also trying to trade Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond? Because it looks like you're trying to restart. At least Reggie Jackson. Like, Reggie Jackson should be out of there. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with that. We'll see. Like, I feel like these teams aren't done. And obviously KCP's on the way out, but like, I feel like there should be more to this for Boston at least. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on that. We'll see what happens there. I wonder if we're going to see Jay Crowder or Marcus Smart on the move. Probably not Marcus Smart, but Jay Crowder, like, seriously, he should be a candidate to be out of there, honestly. That's going to do it. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all.